Lunchroom. I like it.
You're such a cheese ball. Hey,
Total cheese.
welcome to the Coach's Lunchroom. My name is Amanda Kaufman.
And I'm Chris Lavelle.
And you're watching our daily show where we basically have a lot of fun talking about coaching businesses all day.
And obviously it's very unscripted. We just kind of go with the flow.
Super unscripted, really like
very organic.
Cheddar cheese. There's a lot of hats, cheesy. Apparently.
I always have a hat.
I can't remember where I got this one exactly. It was probably High Performance Academy.
I was gonna say, yeah.
With Brendan Burchard. He's just an amazing human. He's continued through the entire past 6 months or so. Like, I've noticed even he like kind of stepped it up a little bit with his social media presence.
Brought a little more mojo to the show.
A little more mojo to the show.
I
so
like that.
I love the hat. I'm a big fan of the hat. So yeah. Anyway, so we thought today we would be telling you. It is October.
Oh, October 1st. Congratulations. It's Halloween month.
I know.
Which, if you follow us on social media, I have inundated today, October 1st, with my favorite holiday, Halloween. And so I had a lot to share there to celebrate the whole month long. It's my favorite holiday.
I couldn't help but notice, but you're wearing a spider web shirt. And
it may not be accidental. It may not be accidental.
October 1st, you guys. I'm curious. You love October? Shout it out in the chat if you happen to be a big fan of the pumpkin month. I really love October. Yes. It's really starting to cool down. I went for a walk this morning and it was just nice. It was just nice. Yeah.
I see that's part of why I love the month of October. Finally, you get a break in Texas in the hot weather. It's been in the 50s. It was 49 one day here, so love it. Love it. The bugs are starting to go away. Woohoo!
So, but what does that mean for you in your coaching business? It also means there's only 3 months left in this beautiful year.
Ah, wow. But it's perfect time to get into action, Coach.
This is the time. This is your time. So I hope you are getting into massive action. I hope that you've been planning out your days and your weeks. I hope you've been rocking your morning routine.
You have. You did it again today.
I'm curious. Anybody in the 5 a.m. club? Drop 5 a.m. in the chat if you have to be in the 5 a.m. club, because
I am not.
So 5 a.m. club, like I read this book by Robin Sharma that
is it called the 5 a.m. club?
The 5 a.m. club, and it's like a whole thing. So I'm just curious if you're aware of that thing and or participating in that thing. But I got to tell you, my energy this week has gone like from like it's just crazy.
That's right. Well, so for clarity, for those who don't know what she's talking about here, so Amanda went back to something she had done several months ago at the beginning of the quarantine, and then with all the busyness of the quarantine, it kind of got off rail. And that was get up at 5 a.m. and start her day on stuff.
Yep.
And of course, as I mentioned a minute ago, I am not doing the 5 a.m. club. So I am in bed and the kids are in bed. And so she uses that time for the things she wants to spend it on.
But he might be joining the 6 a.m. club. We were talking about that.
So I have to admit, there was a lot of time where I would get up at 5 or 5:30 and I would go hit my CrossFit gym, for example, pre-quarantine, things like that. And so I use that for my workout time. But obviously with things going on, quarantine, not being able to do that. So I took that out for a little while. But I've been supporting her in 5 a.m. and I've already been thinking, how can I get my morning workout in?
He's in luck because part of my morning routine involves journaling. My journal is like disappearing. It says just a girl boss building her empire. And
there
it's
you
like
go.
From Target for $1.
It's like magic.
Something.
Yeah.
But
I got that for you.
I do have some journaling time that is like before Chris would normally even be getting up. And I'm like, if I'm sitting there just journaling, there's no reason you couldn't go out for a walk.
That's right.
So
thank you for being so supportive.
Yeah, there you go. So thinking about October and like goodies and treats.
Oh, that's right, because it's a new month. And that means with a new month in the Coaches Plaza, there's a new gift.
Yes.
A new free gift for the coaches that have joined us in our free community called the Coaches Plaza. Do you mind dropping the link, dear?
I sure did.
You just already did. There it is.
Elizabeth is part of the 5 a.m. club. Pretty is part of the 5 a.m. club.
Yep, there you go.
That's a popular thing among us anyway.
And so that free gift is there to help you, coach, on your journey. And everybody who joins and is in that community, that's a free community, just gets that to help them on their way. What's the free gift, though, this month? What is that free training?
I'll tell you, Johnny. It's, I'm sorry. It's just... Jokes. Seriously, though, social media obviously is a big part of building your coaching business, right? But it's always super overwhelming. Like for most people, to be consistent with your posting, to like continue showing up to it, to get better at it, to be more effective with it. And so I actually took a video from a program that we did recently called the Coach's Social Media Solution. And I've unlocked that video for you.
Just a little portion of that mini course to help you on your way. Oh, I love that. Give me that fist bump. That's genius.
That particular video is all about like how we do it really efficiently with and like the kinds of systems that we use and set up. So you can go watch that completely for free. So all you have to do is join the Plaza and then you're in, babe. And
you get access to trainings like that. You get access to a peer group of other coaches just like you, building their coaching business. And of course, we drop a lot of other great, useful stuff in there, all for free, just to help you on your way, Coach.
Like, for example, yesterday, we did a behind-the-scenes training and an Ask Us Anything session. You can find both. That behind-the-scenes training is about balance and about creating a business when you're busy.
That's right.
When you're busy and you've got like a million things, or you're like us, you have a million children and lots of cats.
Or 4 kids and a husband that's like a 5th child, which is me.
Who is like completely high maintenance. Shared with you 3 things that literally changed my life when it came to finding real balance. And Chris came along for the ride, and it was like a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And both of those things, if you're like, Amanda, where is it? It's in the group. Okay. And then it's in the announcements area
up above.
So if you're on your desktop computer, it'll say announcements in the left-hand bar. Left-hand bar. And if you're on your phone, at the top of the group, there's a bunch of little like grayed out links, and there's one that says announcements. Just tap announcements, and then it'll be up there. So you can watch the training from yesterday. You can get the October training for free. It's all there. You just gotta go into the group to go and get it.
Just got to take the action, Coach. That's right.
Exactly. So, October, what are you going to be for Halloween, Chris?
Well,
you going to be a coach?
So the kids don't know it yet, but we have a plan for Halloween night.
Yeah, we can't talk about it. The walls are too thin.
I can whisper it here.
No, I don't think you can.
No?
I really don't think it's a good idea.
It involves Ghost.
No, stop it. He's learning to spell. I'll put it in the comments.
We have one of the kids that's really getting pretty good at spelling, so he might figure it out.
Yeah, so we're going to watch the thing I put in the comments.
There you go.
And then Chris has got some costumes for the thing I put in the comments.
For that exact show.
Yeah.
So we're going to have some fun. We're going to curl up as a family because, the quarantine is going on. We want to be mindful. We've got some kiddos that are a little higher risk than maybe average in one regard. So we want to make sure we're being responsible parents and business owners. So that night, we're going to be getting some pizza going. We're going to be getting that movie going. We're going to be getting some costumes going with it. And then, of course, we'll have a little fun with that as a family, spending some time. That's the culmination in our month of October, which, as far as I'm concerned, they should just go ahead and rename October Halloween. The entire month of October should be renamed Halloween.
I don't know if I feel that strongly about it, but I do like pumpkin spice. I'm a big fan.
You're kind of fitting that pumpkin spice, I guess, vibe there, huh?
Do I have the aesthetic going? I went for a walk. I'm wearing my walking clothes.
There you go.
Exactly. Karen says, take pictures.
There you go. Absolutely. We will.
That reminds me of something. So I got really good exercise today from one of my coaches. And he said, take a few minutes and write down what you're good at.
Ooh, I like that.
And what was really fun is as I was thinking about like, what am I good at? What am I good at?
Good reflective time.
One of the things that I think we're really good at is rebounding from disappointment.
Oh, absolutely.
And flexing to find a better way.
Flexing to find a better way.
So how's that relevant to you and your business? Well, like we said, with Halloween, we're not down with the trick-or-treat scene this year. That's just, it doesn't seem like a good, responsible thing to do.
We do love that historically, but maybe not this year.
So then we did the thing in the comments.
Ah, that's right.
And we're finding another way, and we're finding another good way.
And we're not letting the perfect be the enemy of the good. We will still have a wonderful Halloween night with the kiddos.
Same for your business.
Absolutely. So to Amanda's point, sometimes we find new creative ways and bounce back and still have a wonderful experience.
I got a great question this week from one of our clients, and she said, how important is it to go networking when I'm building a coaching business? And I thought that was a fantastic question given the times we're in right now.
I wonder what your answer is versus what I would say.
Yeah, I would say networking is 100% critical.
And I knew there was an and. I bet we're aligned.
And you don't have to do it in person.
Right? We are perfectly, give me 5, Coach, because we are perfectly aligned on that. Yes, networking is vital to your coaching business, but it doesn't mean you have to go out and shake the hands of 100 people in person to be able to network. You can network, surprise, spoiler, virtually now. And it's important to do it in a way that's aligned with your goals and your considerations and fears or risk factors, things like that. But you absolutely have to get the word out about your coaching biz, but it doesn't have to look like it used to. It can look many different ways.
Exactly. I mean, we have leaned pretty hard into social media and email marketing and
master classes, things like that.
Digital delivery of coaching, digital delivery of programs, digital connection, like so much digital.
We have a 100% virtual digital business.
And we've had this being 100% virtual digital for almost 2 years.
Yep. Well, actually, you still went to occasional live events.
I did.
And that completely stopped in February. So since February, it has literally been 100% all the time, 24/7, digital virtual.
Yeah. So, I think that is another example of what I'm saying is like, there's that song that came out in 1995, Chumbawamba, right? I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down. So, explicit lyrics if you happen to look it up on YouTube. But that song, I think is kind of a bit of an anthem that we have as a fam jam, that it's like, if it's not working out, or if it's not going to plan, or if it's not doing what we were hoping that it would do, right? You just get up again.
We get back up again.
You just
we
keep
try
going.
something new.
Yeah.
We change the hypothesis and go to work testing it.
Yeah. One of my other coaches, she happens to be an 8-figure female entrepreneur, which is like,
there you go,
bananas.
Do the number of counts. And that's not 1 million.
By the way, in 2014, I think she did her first million in like 2016. So we're talking like meteoric ascension. And I was listening to one of her trainings the other day, and one of the things that I really picked up from that was, she sets a goal, right? She sets a goal for her business, and then she actually evaluates the probability of hitting the goal, or her certainty that she's going to hit the goal. And her certainty comes from, have I done it before? Right?
That's certainly a factor.
Have I done it before? Or have I seen it being done before? So that if I've seen it being done before, but I haven't personally done it before, gets a downgrade. If I've never done it before and I've never seen it before, well,
further downgrade.
That's a much higher risk outcome, but the goal is the goal. And I think what was really, really powerful about that idea is anything that ranks, below a certain level of certainty threshold, let's say 80% certain, if it's lower than 80% certain, she creates a contingency right at the beginning of the planning phase.
Wait, so she's planning that there could be a challenge and she may have to address it.
Planning for failure. Not that she will fail.
And she's not saying, oh, well, it's failed, I don't have to do it. She's planning for what will happen if that likelihood does occur and it does fail. What's her game plan to respond and adapt and then avoid the failure?
Exactly. So,
that sounds like smart strategy.
It is incredibly smart strategy, Chris. I'm glad you brought that up.
Because let's think about it, Coach. When's the time to solve a problem? When's the best time to solve a problem? Well, before the problem.
Before you have it.
Absolutely.
Well, to an extent, right? Because that can be
depends on the problem.
That can be a sneaky rabbit hole too. Because sometimes you solve problems you don't actually have.
Absolutely. And I guess that comes back to, what's the probability? What's the likelihood you're going to have a problem? What's that problem going to look like? And do you need to only stop there, or do you need to worry about more problems? Well, chances are, maybe not. What's the likelihood of having a problem? If it's not very likely, well, then don't spend any more time there, Coach. Go spend your resources on things that are going to help you in other areas.
Yesterday in the training, I'm not going to rehash the training we did in the plaza. You can totally
it's there if you
go
want
there.
Yeah.
It's in the comments. Go grab that training. It's worth it. The idea of reversing the flow.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have problems, right? I got
We're
99
human.
problems.
We're human. We all have some problems
I've
here.
got 99 problems, right? The thing is that we tend to collect problems and we tend to collect tasks. And so yesterday I was talking more about like task lists and to-do lists. Today, I want to encourage you to reverse the flow of problems too. So problems are really just tasks for the most part.
Could be,
right?
Yeah, things you got to resolve.
Usually, it's a problem to be solved, and that equals a task. So, so you want to be very judicious, very mindful of, is this a problem that I really want solved?
Is it the right time to solve it? Does it need to be solved?
Does it need to be solved? Is it actually a problem, or is this, or am I being preemptive, which is good, right? But like my coach does, I mean, that's where you have contingency planning, and you don't need like 90 layers of contingency, right? You need like one, right?
Yep.
And I think sometimes we try to anticipate the problem before we actually have it.
Sometimes you get so much into that anticipation that it really just winds up building up fear, and it stops you from action. That's not going to help you.
Yep.
You're not going to make any progress then if you stop the action.
Well, I think that's part of what inspired yesterday's training to like talk about the burnout. Well, actually, what really inspired it is your votes in the poll.
That's right.
You told me
because we
one
let
you
people
wanted.
in the group choose. What are we going to train on?
But I was obviously inspired to provide that as an option for you on the poll. But what really inspired me as that being an option is that lately I've been hearing a lot more questions along the lines of, what if I get overwhelmed, right? Or like, what if my calendar blows up? And I'm kind of like, what if it does? Like, if it does, then I guess you could have a contingency plan to fix it.
That's right.
Right? But what people do is they worry about it maybe happening, and then they kind of stop the thought process right there, right?
Okay.
Of like, that's the problem. The problem
gotcha.
is I might get overwhelmed. And the reinforcing stories for that can be incredibly strong. Like, and speaking from experience, right? I've experienced extreme adrenal fatigue and burnout and like really severe depression. Like, I know what that feels like from personal experience. I also know what it feels like to be afraid of slipping back into that tendency.
Yeah.
And that fear of slipping back into the tendency can actually create what I call the boogeyman.
Right? You've constantly got that shadow just over your shoulder.
It's like looming over you, and you're worried that it might happen. Yep. You know, I might accidentally find myself in that super dark, crazy place that I was before.
So you stop actions that you might normally have been able to take, and
yeah,
creates the situation you were trying to avoid.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, you know, I think sometimes we have to shine a light. The only way to get rid of the boogeyman that I know of is to shine a flashlight.
That's right.
You gotta shine a light on the boogeyman, and then you see that it's just a bunch of shadows. It's some shoes that didn't get quite put away properly.
It's a shirt hanging on the treadmill.
Yeah. It's not really a problem, right? It's not actually there. And we have to be so careful of all the stories that we create about and reinforce about the risk, because is it really that risky? Like, Coach,
is it really now?
Do you really have people knocking down your door asking to work with you?
Let's be real. Do you have so many people doing that you just can't get out of your house? Because if not, well, then maybe that's not a problem you need to solve.
Yeah, exactly. Unless the doorbell's breaking because everybody keeps on trying to come into the house, or if your inbox is blowing up with requests, so could you please work with me? If that's actually happening, then you have a real problem, which can be solved.
Absolutely.
Right?
Because if that's not happening, don't solve that problem yet.
Don't
solve a different problem.
Solve the real problem. Usually for a coach, the real problem.
You need more people in conversation, right?
Yeah, the real problem is you don't have any clients, or the real problem is that you don't have clients fast enough to be able to cause your business to be a joy, right? Yep. So let's work on the real problem, not the imagined one.
And then once you get past that real problem, see if there's a next step. So the issue here, guys, is solve the next most right step. That's really what you want to try and do with that. Don't solve 20 steps down the line. That's not the next most right step. Solve the right one.
That's almost your job, Mr. Strategy, huh? I'm like, we're gonna do this thing. It's gonna be great, right? Like, and I'll like line out for him all the creative things that I've come up with, and I'm like, it'll be awesome. It'll be better than cats.
Better than cats.
And then he's like, have you thought about this? What if that happens? What if this happens? This is very likely. Have you considered that this could happen? So
my job is to highlight the risk factors.
He pressure tests everything I do.
I take care of that. Absolutely. I'm the one that's going to watch that for her so she doesn't have to watch it. And so there's a lesson in that.
But there's a good
Coach.
tension in that.
There's a nice tension there. As a result of that push-pull, we often find really good answers for our situation and our challenges, and that's why we share them with you. And of course, you can do this yourself in your business. You can be your own Amanda and your own Chris in that regard, and help you kind of think through, well, is this the right time to think about this? Maybe not. Okay, well, let's keep going then.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Karen, this is awesome. She said, I cleaned up my task list yesterday and I tackled my 3 this morning.
There you go.
At the 5 a.m. club. Feeling so much better today and I don't feel the overwhelm.
All right.
So
there
true,
you go.
Right? When you win the morning, you really do win the day. Like
it sets your whole day up for success. You don't feel like you're chasing the day. You're out in front of the day then.
I was making some of my omelets. I do a beautiful omelet.
You really do. You really do.
Seriously, like restaurant omelets be damned. I got this. I got this. So,
our breakfast game is just a top form as a result of quarantine now.
Not to brag, but we're gonna brag a little bit about our breakfast game. Like we know how to breakfast. Anyway,
it's a team project.
Yeah,
just like everything in our biz. Breakfast is a team project.
It is. So he comes downstairs this morning and he's like, "Could you please make me an omelet?" And
as I'm putting the fruit together and everything else for the rest of the meal, she's like, "Sure."
There's a space in the plate. Can you put an omelet there? And I'm like, "Yes, of course, my love."
There
but
you go.
I was saying to you as I was like setting about. I'm making breakfast. And I said to him, I was like, I feel like I've done so much today already.
Yeah, you'd already been up for over 2 hours, like 2.5 hours at that point.
I
by
got
the time
my
we were having that.
meditation in. I got my hydration in.
Got some
I got
exercise.
I got to journal.
Yep.
Got to do some really good planning.
And that's not meeting with clients at 5 a.m. That's doing the things that are setting her up for the successful part of the rest of her day, which was yet to come.
Yeah. And so I'm excited because I still got more of the day to come, but it is so helpful to feel like you're in control, and to feel, because I think when we're really out of balance, what's really going on, what's really happening is that you don't feel like you're in control of your life.
You're feeling like life is happening to you as opposed to you leading your life.
Yeah, exactly. And like, that's the worst feeling in the world. Like, I know that feeling, like when you, and there are things that come out from outside for sure.
Sure. Life happens. Nothing ever goes 100% according to plan.
Of course. Like things happen and sometimes like crazy hard things happen. But at the same time, good things happen. Good sometimes things can happen
if you start looking for those good things, you notice they were always there.
Exactly.
You just weren't focused on them. You were focused on the negative things. Doesn't mean the negative things have gone away, but if they're not the focus, you'll see more of the positive things.
So it's maybe not even so much about control to feel balance. Maybe it's even more about being intentional.
Ooh.
And just feeling like you're intentionally spending your time. Because,
I like that.
I do have a good amount of time nowadays, which I did not.
You didn't feel that.
For the first year or two of this business, I did not feel what I'm about to tell you. But I do now. And that feeling is like, I'll wander around the house sometimes. Like just the other day, he was like,
"What are you doing?
What are you doing?" And I was like,
just walking
around. Here. How you doing?
I was like, "I'm working."
And he's like hair on fire with the kids or whatever. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like,
and that's because she felt more in control of her day. She had leaned forward into it. I know there's some others on the chat here that are leaning into stuff now in their own business right now as well. Way to go, coaches. When you lean in and you take some action, it's amazing how much more empowered and in action and in control you feel.
I got to tell you, a little intentional wandering time
not a bad deal.
Is actually really, really helpful. We're human beings, not human doings. And
there you go.
Sometimes, taking a little break from the doing to just wander around, even for 5 minutes, to just like hang out. Don't check social, don't check email, just wander about and really kind of observe and take in your environment. It's amazing. It's so grounding,
There you
know,
go.
and taking a real break. So with that, I actually have a call that I'm
There you go.
going to jump onto.
All right.
But I hope you guys have a really amazing day. And don't forget, tomorrow, be here.
Oh, yeah. It's
Because
Friday.
It's Friday.
Friday.
And we want to celebrate your wins. So,
Your wins, Coach.
So mark your calendar. Make sure you're here because we're going to do some really goofy song and dance for you.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
Dance.
Absolutely literally. So we can't
Interpretive
wait
dance.
to celebrate your progress with you tomorrow. And with that, we'll see you later.
All best, Coach. Mwah.